Hey, what is up? Today we are going to be talking about this breaking news: Voyager Digital suspending trading, withdrawals, everything. They basically paused their entire platform. I'm going to go through this article with you here to look at some of the quotes, some of what they're saying, and I'm going to tell you what I think are the possibilities of what can happen that I'm going to take away from all this. And I'm a Voyager user myself, so I'm in this with anyone else that's in this. So I've been thinking about it, and I think there's several different outcomes that can happen, and I'll get to that later in the stream as we go through this information. I'll share with you my thoughts and what I think is the best bet scenario that's going to happen. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's dive into this. So I'm on Bloomberg. Crypto broker Voyager Digital suspends trading and withdrawals. Basically everything, right? All trading, buying, selling. They also suspended deposits. The app is basically you cannot do anything with it at all. Voyager earlier disclosed bad debt exposure to Three Arrows Capital. That was about a couple weeks ago that we saw that, 2-3 weeks ago. Contagion risk implications, cloud prospect of crypto sector. Now, that's a little bit of a overstatement. Contagion risk, absolutely. There's absolutely a contagion risk that's going to happen. This. What do we mean by contagion? It spreads. Like it spreads to fear in the market and starts causing pressure on other exchanges. That's the contagion. It spreads. But as with any contagion, it ends up dying down. But the implications, cloud prospect of crypto sector? No, not the crypto sector. Like future prospect? No, but short-term prospect, bear market prospect. Yeah, bear markets are always nasty. So let's get into this. Crypto broker Voyager Digital temporarily suspended trading and withdrawals, as we saw, but deposits also, due to difficult market conditions amid a deepening meltdown in beleaguered cryptocurrency markets. The suspension, which started at 2 p.m. Eastern Time in New York, also applies to its loyalty rewards program, Voyager said in a statement Friday. So I can tell you that I actually got my loyalty reward deposits for this month, but going forward, they won't be having any for God knows how long, if ever again at all. That's what they're saying. So if you were getting rewards from June, you got them today. But you can't do anything with them. At the moment, you can't do anything with them. This was a tremendously difficult decision, but we believe it is the right one given current market conditions, said Stephen Ehrlich. Now, he's the CEO. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Voyager. This decision gives us additional time to continue exploring strategic alternatives with various interested parties while preserving the value of the Voyager platform. What does he mean here? They're pausing it because they're saying we need to just pause everything and we need to figure out how to solve our balance sheet, because their balance sheet is the problem. The money that they lent to Three Arrows Capital is the problem here. They lent out $500-600 million worth of assets at current market value. I think 350 million in USDC, right, to Three Arrows Capital, and 15,200 Bitcoin. So if you add all that up, that's roughly somewhere between $500 and $600 million at current market value. Obviously, USDC is going to be worth $1, so that's 350 million plus whatever that amount of Bitcoin is worth. And so let's move on. And again, I'm going to sum all this up, and I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. New York-based Voyager, which offers crypto trading, staking, and way of earning rewards for holding certain cryptos and yield products, is among the companies that have taken a hit among the fallout from Three Arrows Capital. It earlier received a credit line from Alameda Research, Sam Bankman-Fried's trading firm. So they've been coming in, flying to the rescue, but they're not some altruistic, charitable people. Sam is not that. Alameda is not that. They're doing this because they see it as a good move for them. Remember that, because that's going to get into what I think is going to ultimately happen here. Voyager plunged as much as 43% in U.S. trading following the news. Voyager stock, because Voyager has stock in Canada and a crypto token, VGX. All of it's plunged. U.S. trading following the news, making it one of the worst performing crypto stocks. Shares of the firm's main listing in Canada were not trading due to the Canada Day holiday. Apparently it's Canadian holiday today. last month, Voyager issued a notice of default to Three Oaks Capital worth about, they're saying about $675 million at the time they issued the default. Since then, Bitcoin has dropped in value. This was Three Oaks Capital was a big part of what made the entire crypto market, Bitcoin, etc., drop. So it's not worth that much right now, but the amount of Bitcoin is still the amount of Bitcoin. It's actively pursuing recovery from them. Yeah, good luck, unfortunately. So here's what I think is going to happen. I'm going to show you this. We're going to take a look at BlockFi. That's another one that Sam Bankman-Fried, Alameda Research, etc., has been working with. If you didn't see that, let's look at this. Now, I think this is I think this is Sam's thought from the beginning. Alameda Research, their thought from the beginning of what they're doing, because they're FTX and they are trying to grow and grow and grow and become the real staple of the crypto market, right? The crypto exchange, the crypto platform. One of the good things to do there is this. One of the ways to really solidify your category dominance is this. FTX in deal to rescue crypto firm BlockFi with option to buy it. Did you hear that? They signed a deal with an option to buy BlockFi for up to 200. That the deal was for up to 240 million, not to buy them for it. FTX has also agreed to provide BlockFi with 400 million revolving credit facility, Prince said last week. He added that BlockFi has faced a jump in withdrawals after the news, obviously, of Celsius freeze. Fears of U.S. Recession, aggressive rate hikes, etc. Last month, BlockFi cut 20% of its headcount, so they laid off 20% of their people. Companies revolving credits, and that's not what I want to see here. This is what I want to say. BlockFi. FTX basically has the ability to possibly buy BlockFi for $25 million. 25. You heard me right. $25 million. What the fuck is this? $25 million. Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? $25 million. So you're like, wait a minute. How's that possible? BlockFi, because you may not use BlockFi, but you know them. BlockFi was recently, their last valuation where they took a round of funding, they were valued at $4.8 billion. Yes, billion with a B. And Sam is giving them a line of credit for $250 million. Now they've upped it apparently to $400 million. That's news to me. I'm just finding that out here. So they've upped their credit line to $400 million. But they basically they're inking a deal. That's what I was reading yesterday, is that they are inking a deal for FTX to acquire BlockFi. So FTX already big in its own right, and now it gets to absorb another exchange, making its category of crypto platform, crypto exchange, etc., that much more powerful. Now, this is what I think is going to happen with Voyager. This is what I think is going to happen with Voyager. I think that what's going to end up happening is that Alameda Research, FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same thing to me, is going to acquire Voyager for pennies on the dollar. Sam Bankman-Fried is one of the largest shareholders in Voyager. Obviously, Alameda Research gave that big loan to Voyager, and I think that's if Voyager can't get their balance sheet right, I think what's going to happen is Sam, Alameda, FTX, going to come in and acquire Voyager for pennies on the dollar. They're going to basically do what they did with BlockFi here, which is, oh, how much money do you owe your customers? Okay, we will pay that and just a little bit more so you can, go pay your mortgage for a month or something like that, so you can pay your employees a severance. That's basically what it is. That's what I think is going to happen with Voyager. I don't, personally, I'm a little biased because I have money in Voyager that's locked up right now. And I think that Voyager's not going to be able to figure it out. And I think that Alameda Research, FTX, Sam is going to end up acquiring it. Here we go. Look at this. When was this evaluation? See what I'm saying? BlockFi was valued at $4.8 billion at their last round of evaluations of funding. And it's just crazy. $500 million to Voyager. He is the main guy. I think he owns 12.5% of Voyager. Sam does now. So that's what I think is going to ultimately end up happening. It's just, here we go. BlockFi said it is suffering 80 million in losses. Technically, Voyager is suffering 500 plus million in losses. And I think that's basically what's going to happen. I mean, Alameda's already basically given the money, basically, to cover the customers of Voyager, just like they did here with BlockFi. And then the companies are like, well, what are we really going to do? And Sam's like, hey, you know what? You can get rid of the loan, but you got to give me the company, and it's my company now. And I'll give you a little bit of money to walk away and pay your employees and move on from this nasty situation. That's what I think is going to happen with Voyager. So that's my best guess at the moment. I hope you find that helpful. If you're in Voyager like I am, I feel for you, obviously. I can very much empathize with that. But I think it's going to be okay. I don't think this is as bad as the Celsius situation, because Celsius has a bunch of money locked up. Well, maybe they can get it back. Yeah, but it's a little different. Like Celsius, no one's given Celsius a loan. FTX came in to Celsius, and after looking at Celsius books, FTX, Alameda, Sam said, no, we can't give you any money. So Celsius is really bad. Sorry if you're in that too. But Voyager, they had money to. BlockFi, they gave money to, because these are responsible-ish companies that got kind of screwed. They got screwed by Three Arrows. Another that was supposed to be responsible company, Celsius, just did some extra degen stuff. So that's what I got for you. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Have yourself a wonderful 4th of July weekend if you're in America. If you're somewhere else, have a good weekend anyways.